Hello out there. If you're out there and you're ugly, we have good news for you.
If you're out there and you're ugly, baby, just get Botox.
If you're out there and you're ugly, there is a movie for you.
There is a movie for you.
Is the movie for them? Maybe not. Maybe it'll make them feel worse.
Probably.
We watched the movie Uglies on Netflix.
Yes, on Netflix. Based on the young adult series of novels called Uglies, written by Scott Weatherfield, I believe.
I don't know who wrote it.
But basically, first of all, I think it's funny that this is our 13th episode and that film came out on Friday the 13th. How very unlucky.
I think it's absolutely lucky, actually. I think it's like two negatives can't make a positive.
Well, we'll probably talk about that to see if that's true. This was I'm so glad that we just kind of chose something absolutely buck wild random for us.
We do that sometimes, and I think that's why we do the podcast, because we'll just like watch random shit that's like
trending or whatever.
Not even trending. That shit wasn't even trending. Uglies is not even trending. Like, people are like, how do we like petition to get it off Netflix? As I like, sometimes concepts of a plan intrigue me.
Okay.
It's a joke, because Donald Trump said he has concepts of a plan.
Stop. I forget. I keep forgetting that when you slap at that table, that the reverberations are loud.
Because it's connected to like the mic stands. God.
I don't understand how technology works. I just wanted to be part of it.
But I don't think that's technology.
No. But I don't know what it is.
It's science. I believe so. No?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
so
please.
Oh my God. So, we just were kind of scrolling through trying to see what tickled our little fancies. And we said, let's put this film on, because I think it's billed as like, if Divergent met the Hunger Games.
No.
That's like what it says on the log line.
No, it's like if Divergent met like Zoolander. That's what it is.
No, truly.
Because Uglies is this movie, or this book, whatever, that is about something happened to the world. We ruined the world with like climate change and
fossil fuels or whatever.
The way to bring back the world is for everyone to get Botox, basically.
It's so crazy.
It makes no sense.
Because basically, so they have all these children in a boarding school, and is the idea that like, so everyone is individual looking until they're 16 when they can get their pretty surgery, and they literally call it becoming pretty, which is hilarious.
Which is questionable, because they don't become pretty.
No.
Not all of them become pretty.
No, we must discuss that.
Yeah.
But is the idea that they get this surgery because then everyone is on the same playing field?
So
is that why they do it?
The way that it's sold to the public is that this, like, the problem with the world, besides climate change, there's a lot of problems with us apparently, is also that like we look different and we have different features, and so therefore it creates war no matter where we go, right? Mama. Which is like, well, there's some truth to that, right? As long as there are eyes, people will be racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or stereotype, like they'll pass judgments.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as like you can see color or we are different, as long as there is difference, there will be some kind of like ostracizing, like division.
Totally.
So that makes sense, but that's the only thing that makes sense in this whole movie, because then they say in order to like bring the world back together after this like climate change fuckery is so that everyone looks the same. But not only do you look the same, like you're also enticed to like, because you're pretty.
Yeah, they want you to be hot.
Yeah.
They say, get that hot surgery.
And they go, you know who gets along more than anyone? Hot people. You know who doesn't have drama? Hot people.
Those are the only people that have drama. Do you see when hot girls like whirl into a space? they are a fucking clusterfuck of crazy energy.
Yeah.
Always.
Hot people in general. Yeah. Hot people always have drama. This person doesn't like me. Because you're an idiot and no one likes you.
Yeah.
I would argue that we should have just made everyone ugly instead of making everyone pretty. If we want people to get along, we just make everyone ugly because then they'll have to have a nice personality.
Yeah, you're not like really breeding like nice personalities with if you're like, oh, we're all hot. It's like, okay, no one cares.
Well, you don't really change the world.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, look at all these hot people. Well,
you're just all like, I'm hot. Yeah, you're hot. I'm hot. When did you become hot? When I was 16?
Like everyone else?
What eyes did you get? Gold? I'm sorry. Since when is gold eyes hot?
I literally don't know.
Like, what?
No, but I was so obsessed with that. I was obsessed with, I don't know, are we jumping into We Love It with this? Or do you want to, I feel like I wanted to tell you how I think it's so funny how in the beginning of the movie, Joey King, who plays Gypsy Rose Blanchard in the
Gypsy
Act.
Gypsy Rose, I think, is the only way you need to call that girl.
Yeah. She was also in The Conjuring when she was a little girl. She's done a lot. Girl has a stacked resume.
Good for her.
Good for her. But she's in her like little dorm room. And I love that it's like all sci-fi dystopian future, but it's pretty much that she like goes to some panel in her wall and just like turns on an app that she can just Yassify herself with.
No, literally.
And I'm like,
she just goes through filters.
I was absolutely just going to be like, so she's just on Instagram.
She's on TikTok.
She's literally on TikTok just scrolling through different filters. Like, this is not revolutionary.
It's, yes, at all. And like, what's even weirder is that like, not all these people are ugly. Like some of them are pretty.
Most of them are not.
Before the surgery. And
how many times did you and I turn to each other and we were like, are they ugly?
Yeah, there's this like Asian racially ambiguous girl.
Yeah.
Who's pretty.
Hot.
And
cheekbones.
Like, yeah. Pretty, has nice eyebrows.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, she needs to be pretty. I'm like, I would argue that the guy who just had surgery is fucking ugly.
Oh my God.
Fake Ken over here?
Stop.
Kenbot? Kenbot was hideous.
Joey King's best friend, Nose, who his whole thing was like he had a big nose. Okay.
And the makeup was horrible. Like the big fake nose, I'm like, just take it off. Take it off. You don't need the surgery.
We don't need the surgery.
And then Jodie King is not even that ugly either.
She's not.
In the movie, I'm like, we should have just had her look like Gypsy Rose if we really wanted to like give us a reason. Because that's my thing too. Like you got to make the people ugly in order for me to be like, yeah, they should be pretty because these people are hideous.
Yeah.
But they were like perfectly fine.
And most of them were like, again, like attractive.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I just think it's I also think it's funny that the whole science, like the revolution behind creating these pretties, they call them, was spearheaded by Laverne Cox, who is a doctor. I forget what her name is, like Dr. Cable or something.
It is Cable.
Cable. Who she's so glam and yassified in real life that all that they could do to make her be like the queen of pretty is like throw some color contacts on
blue
her.
Contacts. Yeah. That's it. They said, they're like, how do we do anything?
She's gorge.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, slap some contacts on her.
Sometimes I see trans women and I go, should I identify as he, him? Like, no. Should I identify as it, that, like, it, this?
Gorgeous.
Jesus Christ.
Gorgeous.
She is so pretty.
So pretty. Bodied and like looked so good.
And she slayed. I mean, one point Kate turns to me and she goes, is she serving or is she not? And I'm like, it's the script that's not serving. Because like everyone was like pretty good, but like there's so much like you just can't carry a movie by just acting. Like some lines are like, please, like you can do the scene work and it still is just like, okay, yeah.
But they apparently condensed, like people online were saying that it was condensed, so it was a whole series of novels, but this one was pretty much based on the first novel. But for it to be condensed to such a short film, they're like, there was no real development of relationships, which I agree with. Like, I felt like no characters really connected except for Joey King's character, who is Tally, the lead, and Shay, who is the Asian actress.
Honestly, no, I'm gonna disagree on that. Towards the end, their relationship developed, but in the beginning, it was giving lesbians. And not even, it would. And not even in the sense that I'm like they're attracted to each other, and just the sense of how fast things were moving.
Yes.
Things were like
they're moving in.
They went from like, hi, my name is blah Tally. Blah blah to you're my best friend and I can't live without you. Literally from one day to the next. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I would say the only relationship that felt organic was between David and Tali.
Okay.
David is like the rebellion kid.
Yes.
Who we meet.
Who lives off the grid.
Yeah. And like, I would say theirs kind of makes sense because they were spending time together. They did a couple of stuff together, but every other relationship was like forced.
Fast-tracked. When you turn pretty, you go live on this island. And for people who are suffering from this like climate change, fossil fuel stuff, the whole time there are fireworks happening in this city. Every single night.
Every single night. All day.
Yeah.
There's just fireworks. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's like New Year's Eve every day there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is I'm like, I wouldn't even want to live there. Like, you're telling me like, I don't want to live there. No. It's so loud.
So loud.
Like, so annoying.
So annoying. Also, I think it's crazy that you're not allowed to live on the Hot People Island. You're not allowed to live in Hot Island. Like you are absolutely not allowed to be there. But like, I remember Tally at one point says, because they have essentially like Instagram profiles where they can do all their little filters and like they can Yassify themselves. And she said like that her parents have her profile, her code or whatever. So that way she knows they know what she looks like when she turns pretty. I'm like, it kind of struck me. I'm like, yeah, they just like they have kids and then they're like, whatever. Like, what the fuck? They literally have kids and then they're just like, plop them in this boarding school. I won't see them for almost 2 decades. What? I'm too hot to care. What?
Well, you remember that, like, I'm like, is this Los Angeles?
No, seriously.
You remember that she was like, that her parents were like, we'll see you again when you have gold eyes like ours. I was like, what?
Ew.
I'm like, since when are gold eyes pretty?
Yeah.
Like, never ever out of all the eye colors in this world have I ever said, yo, I really wish I had gold eyes.
Need gold eyes. Okay.
I would prefer silver eyes over gold.
For you?
Well, like,
love.
I mean, like, well, gold eyes, like,
love. All right. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. You're turning pretty. You're Yassifying.
Yeah.
What's the Luke? What are we going for you? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh, you're going off the grid. You're going to the smoke.
I'm going to the smoke. Nothing. You start. Listen, little touch-ups here and there, I get it. Like the lip fillers, all of that shit, the little Botox, I get it. But like, to me, you start fucking around with it too much, you look like fucking Ken doll. Like, you just look so artificial. Like, you just look like high fructose corn syrup. Like, at a certain point, like, you just keep fucking with it too much.
Yeah. I mean, you saw Courtney Cox. Like, she was so gorgeous when she did Scream, when she started Friends. And now she looks better now, but she like did so much cheek filler and all that. She looked insane.
I mean, you look at anybody from the 90s who started the, remember when I asked you if you were comfortable?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, that's how I'm going to sit.
I am sitting this
And now
way.
you're kicking the table.
I didn't mean
Stop
to.
arguing in front of the kids. I've talked to you about this. Everyone, it's like botched. This is why we got the show Botched, because it was like insane.
Botched. Yeah.
I mean, there's this lady in my building who she was like one of the first people to get. I remember when you first got like Botox and fillers and they looked the way they did, like how horrible they looked. Like, yeah. Because, you know, I think that people who were doing it were kind of like amateur and it wasn't really like medicine, like, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it wasn't like rightfully like studied or like.
It's definitely improved so much over the decades, for sure.
So I feel like a lot of wrong people got their hands on this kind of stuff and just thought like, oh, you'll just insert the filler in the lips.
Yeah.
And I remembered what would be everyone's like go-to would be to tell people that they got into a car accident.
Like after they got like Botox or filler or whatever.
And if it was like botched like that, it would be everyone's go-to to be like, I got into a car accident.
Not like, oh, some janky backdoor physician gave me bad lip filler. I don't know if that's how it works, but
yeah, no, because it was so embarrassing. Like,
yeah,
it's only now that we're like more okay with like Botox. It's really our generation that's like, let's have a Botox party.
Oh my God.
Like party favors, lip fillers. Like,
it's crazy. And not that it's crazy. I don't judge it, but like it is so funny that it's not. Yeah, our generation is definitely the first. I feel like that is okay with starting to do cosmetic surgery just to maintain
like an
certain
upkeep.
Things. Yeah.
Like I remember we were talking to your mom and her friend about like getting Botox, and they looked at us like we had 17 heads. Like we were like, yeah, maybe at one point, at a certain point in our life, we would get like a little touch up here, there.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy. And they looked at us like we had 17,000 heads.
Yeah.
Like if we got filler right there on the spot in the restaurant,
literally,
I said, let me get a mimosa and a filler, please.
And some lip filler.
Yeah.
Which is, what's crazy is that like almost, I would argue that most people we know, not most people we know, but like a lot of people we know have gotten like even like baby Botox, and it's nothing.
Baby Botox. That's when you suck on the nipple again.
You look so young that you become a baby.
You look so young you have to wear diapers again. I would get a BBL. That was one thing they didn't do. Like they were like changing your face. I'm like,
they were fucking with their faces.
I'm like, I need a BBL. Yeah. Like if anything, that's what I'm gonna change.
I want body.
I want body, yada yada. Like give me abs.
Give me abs.
Yeah, I don't need my face to be fucked with. But
no,
yeah,
I agree. I like my face.
Yeah,
I just like want my body to.
I like your face too.
Oh, I like. Yeah,
it's my favorite seat.
Very comfortable. It's comfy. It's cozy.
But I mean, I love so much about this movie.
Are we loving it?
I thought we already did.
Oh. Eh.
Or did we change it to I'm obsessed?
I'm obsessed.
I wanted to tell you that I'm obsessed. I like the roller coaster part with the skateboard.
Like the hoverboard skateboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was giving Subway Surfer. Love that.
Love that.
Love that.
If I were in a dystopian world, I would need a hoverboard.
What kind of dystopian world would you like to live in?
Oh, none. First of all, this is my hot take. I hate dystopian literature, cinematography. I hate it. Except for the Hunger Games. It's the only one I accept. I hate it. It like gets on my... Ugh. Ew, I just licked the microphone.
You just became autistic.
I hate dystopian. I would say something like this, though.
Like this world, the one we live in now?
Yeah. New York City. On the eve of the 2024 election is the dystopia that I want to live in. No. I would say something like... Okay, Hunger Games, but I'd want to live in the capital. I hate to say it.
That is crazy.
I'd want to live in the capital. I don't want to live in District 12. I don't want to go in a mine. I don't want to be starving. I don't want to be dirty. I don't. If I'm in dystopian world, I need to be a princess. Like I can't do it. I don't want to live in the capital, but I want to live like in District 1 or 2. Yeah. If you were in the Hunger Games, you would absolutely be a District 1 or 2 tribute, and you'd be crazy.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You would be like, I volunteer, and you would have like sharpened teeth and would like...
I would never touch my teeth. That's how you know you don't know me. I would never touch these teeth. What I would have is like claws, maybe.
I was going to say claws.
I would have claws.
But
my
then you
teeth,
can't be
no.
gay.
Well, we'll find a way in District 1.
You just have like little tubes that you put over your fingers.
I got little dick fingers.
Oh my God. But how do you feel like this? Okay.
Is Harry Potter dystopian?
No, that's magical.
Oh.
Like you read I never read Divergent.
Yes. I only read dystopian
I know, it's
books.
so
I've
strange.
read Hunger Games. I've read Divergent. I almost solely just read dystopian stuff. I like that kind of stuff. What?
Sorry, I got distracted by
I thought you were looking at me like, I don't know if we could date anymore.
No,
like you gotta go.
Listen, but like young adult dystopian lit is always like really fun. Yeah, like they make it fun and they make it like futuristic and tech.
Divergent was really cool.
Do you feel like this was similar to Divergent? I never read Divergent.
Yeah, they all have the same like kind of feel. It's all like
categorizing people.
Yes, we live in a world where this went wrong, so what we thought was the best was to divide people.
Yeah,
like I'm like,
my God,
what?
Literally did is Trump the leader in all of these different scenarios? Like
to bring people back together, we decided to divide them. Actually, yeah. Like I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that's literally all they are. Like because like even in Divergent, it's literally like we work best like in groups. So it's like the fearless people, it's the honest people, it's the agriculture people, and then like something else, I forget what it is. But that's basically like the 4 houses. Okay. Like, you know, like you were like, and yeah, it's based like we have to live together because if not, like if we like, it's just weird.
Yeah. I just like but you do like dystopian, like you like the tech stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I just like
you even like Black Mirror. I don't know why you like it.
Is Black Mirror dystopian?
100%.
I think the thing is a possibility, right? There's a possibility for anything to happen in this world.
Yeah.
Like I think like there is a possibility of Divergent where we separate people based on like their careers.
Yeah.
Right? And there is a possibility, like we are so separated. We already do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like most of our friends are comedians. Right? Like I look on Instagram and I'm like, all everyone ever posts is comedy clips. It's not true.
Yeah.
Like if you go and you like follow other people, like if you look at your other friends and like their Instagrams, like it's just people getting married, having babies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then when you're a parent, like all you hang out with is like parents.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, if you do certain things, like that's all, you're a finance bro, all you do is hang out with your finance bros.
Not the finance bros.
All you do is have your AirPods in and talk about crypto.
I would rather be in a dystopian future than be a finance bro and talk about crypto. I'd rather do that.
And
I'd rather be in District 12.
Wow, District 12?
Or the smoke than be a crypto bro. Wouldn't you?
No.
You'd rather be a crypto bro
than to be in District 12, bro, where people are pulled out and the people are they have no food.
Yeah, that's
like literally like PETA is throwing bread at Katniss's head and that's how they flirt. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I put that one AirPod in my ear. Give me a suit. Give me cocaine. Give me a BlackBerry.
Oh my God.
And give me Daddy's black card. You know what I mean?
Stop.
Like, instead of going at District 12 where I'm getting fucking mud bread on my head. I'm good. I'm good.
I know. That's fair. I don't know. I don't understand finance, so clearly.
I don't understand finance and I don't understand bros. So count me out, loser.
So I'm not interested. I do think what's kind of interesting about this, like the concept of this movie is that these books were written prior to like the blowing up of social media. Like these books came out in like 2005. So that's before, I mean, that's even before MySpace maybe?
No.
Yeah. Or maybe like around
MySpace in 2005, my sophomore year. That's my sophomore year.
Okay.
Out of
but
MySpace.
Like, I mean,
there was also Skonex before MySpace.
That's how, don't age yourself, sweetie.
I don't care.
What is Skonex? What is that?
Honestly, I think it was some like hood MySpace.
Screaming.
I think.
I need to deep dive Skonex.
I don't know anyone.
Spell it for me.
Skonex.
Skonex.
Yeah. Huh. It's very old. But
I think it's, I mean, even so, I think the concept of that, like social media is now so different from what MySpace was. Like, I mean, and what I'm assuming Skonex was and Facebook when it first came out. So I think it's pretty crazy that this concept of like the Yassify, like, I need to stop saying the Yassify, the Yassifying of it all, but like of like how you're attached to all these devices that sort of help you get hot. You know what I mean? I think it's like very foresight.
I guess it is like foresight in the sense that like we are so we care more about what people think than anything else. So like the whole like touching up your face or whatever. But I guess like that's always kind of been there, right? That's always kind of been like Hollywood. Yeah. Right? Like that's always kind of been it. But like I always feel like these dystopian writers are like crackheads. I'm always like that. You a crackhead, you hit a pipe, and you took yourself to a world.
Yeah, because that's crazy.
It's just so creative. And I like, as a creative person, I just like cannot imagine being that creative that I'm like, you smoke crack?
Do you feel that way about people who do like fantasy stuff too?
Yeah, anything
like fantasy
like
world.
Yeah,
George R.R. Martin building Westeros. You're like, okay, put the crack pipe down.
That to me is more nerdy.
What about J.R.R. Tolkien with Middle Earth?
Because it's not that far off, right? Like Game of Thrones. It's not that far off in the sense that like there was a world where we had war and like to me it's not. I don't find that like dystopian. Like the only thing is like we had dragons, but we thought we had dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not we thought we had dinosaurs. We did have dinosaurs.
We thought we did. Ashlynn, and they didn't. They weren't here. Please. No, if you look at the earth, there's no dinosaurs. If there were dinosaurs. No, but of course there were dinosaurs, but I'm just saying like, you know what I mean? So
you
like,
think it's specifically like the dystopian, you're like, cuz they're looking into the future. Like in
more like Harry Potter.
See, that's fantasy, though. That's fantasy.
Then, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It depends on, like, because the thing about this one, I don't think it's so far off, right? It's just like, are you pretty or are you ugly?
Yeah. We burned the world up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
The world had climate change. We ruined the world. So what we thought was we needed to fix people's appearances.
Yeah, we said, no. Put them in the little... like tin can. Shake it up. See what comes out.
It's the illegal aliens in prisons getting surgery.
Getting their surgery. It's sending little Johnny home to school or away to school. Goodbye, Johnny. I love you. And then you come back. I forget the quote.
Could you imagine? You live in a world where you send your kid off to school. You say, goodbye, Johnny. I love you. Have a good day in school. And they come back and all of a sudden they had an altering surgery.
Period. That's what happens when you're 16.
Also, if you vote for Kamala Harris, you turn into a woman. So if you want to be a trans woman, just vote. And then you get free surgery.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
science.
She should spin that. She could be like, you vote for me.
That's science. That's just science. Hey, at the end of the day, you can't argue with science.
No, science is science.
It's science.
Don't argue with it. Hey, it's science. Do you think with dystopian, so with this movie in particular, the idea was like, so obviously there's a rebel force that lives like off the grid. They live in nature. You know, they try to live like the normal way, like the authentic life. We trade, they call it the smoke. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we don't have money, but we trade and we take care of each other and we grow, like whatever. Do you always think that in this, like in the idea of a dystopian future, are there always going to be opposing forces? Do you think it's possible to like find a new way to live that is harmonious, or do you think that there's always going to be like some sort of rebel force that's like, no, this way is wrong?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like, even if it is the wholesome way, right? Like there, like hate to take it here, but there were still people opposed to like freeing slaves. You know what I mean? Like there's just where there is like desire and selfishness. Yeah, there will always be an opposing. Yeah, like whether it's a negative or a positive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's What? Why are you laughing?
No. I'm listening.
Oh no, you're looking at me like, oh yeah.
Oh
really?
No. I'm listening.
So I think there will always be like some kind of like opposing.
Yeah.
I think opinions are like assholes.
Everyone's got one, baby.
Mm-hmm. And they all stink.
They all are stinky P.U. But I don't know if I'd want to go against Laverne Cox. I think she has it figured out.
I can go against Laverne Cox.
I was kind of obsessed with like then the revelation, like because the big revelation is like, oh, everyone thinks they're getting this surgery to become hot, so then there's equality. But then what they don't know is that they're actually just making your brain turn to mush and making you like have no original thoughts. It's like, okay. Like, this is what's happened.
2 things. They also talked about how the crops were ruining, these like white flowers were ruining the world.
Yes.
Then they never talked about it again.
Fierce, but we were setting it on fire.
We were setting them on fire.
Loved it.
But we never talked about it again.
No, why? We don't need to.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the crack pipe.
We're back. Okay, we're back on the crack pipe. Love.
The difference is, I guess that George is in the past and these are futuristic.
George
R.R. Martin. Right?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
his is in the past.
Sure.
So it replicates the past a lot.
I guess, yeah.
Where theirs is in the future, so I feel like you have to be so far removed to be in that future.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
I wanted to just talk about my
You're back on the crack pipe.
The crack pipeline.
Oh my God.
Of dystopian.
The dystopian crack pipeline. That's hilarious. Yeah, this film was crazy.
This film, here's the thing. This film is bad. I'm sorry.
It's bad,
but it is entertaining.
Oh, it's
because the whole time you're just like,
you're left scratching your head.
You're just like, okay, I didn't smoke anything. I didn't take an edible, but it kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
This is like a free trip.
Yeah,
a free drugs.
We're sober and we're enjoying it. But you know, so I thought what was kind of funny about, the movie is bad.
Yeah, the movie is bad.
The movie is bad. Joey King apparently has been attached to do this project since like 2020. And because she loved the book series. And I'm like, yeah, in 2020, she was probably like 14 and was like, yeah, I love this series.
Was that before Gypsy Rose too?
I don't remember.
The act.
Probably around that time. But that's when she was attached to it, but it was because she liked it. I'm like, yeah, she probably liked these in middle school. So I wonder if she's like now like, ooh, this is cringe. But I'm also obsessed with, so the director, you know how I love the director, Mick G.
Yeah.
Mick G. So for listeners who don't know, Mick G is the director of my favorite cinematic endeavor, Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, the sequel. Mm-hmm. He also was like the music director, one of the creative directors for Sugar Ray, which is random. But I felt like being such an avid fan of the Charlie's Angels cinematic universe, I saw a lot of the same nasty CGI tricks that he pulled. And I'm like, oh,
like when she bungee jumped. First of all,
stop.
Let's talk
go
about
back.
The scene.
You need to
Let's
go back
talk
to the
about
scene. Yes.
Her best friend knows. Her name is Squint because her eyes are squinty.
They're not.
They're simply not.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
I would argue they're not. I would argue that you can see her eyes the whole time.
I know.
I would argue that they're not. Right?
Correct.
She has his best friend named Nose. They make this pact that even if he gets yassified,
yes,
he is still going to come back and like talk to her because his birthday was before hers.
Yes.
Okay?
So he turns hot before her.
He turns hot before her. He's like, we'll meet in like 2 months. And I'm like, why in 2 months? Like, you can meet the next day. But he's like, we'll meet in 2 months. I'm like, okay, they're going to meet in 2 months under a bridge.
Yeah.
And he
it's
never
giving trolls.
First what? Of all. It's giving trolls. Yeah, bridge trolls. So he never shows up.
And he's dubbing her via text. So I don't know why she's surprised.
He's ghosting her.
100%.
He's ghosting her and like Kate said, they have these like Instagram profiles. So now you can see what he looks like. So now you see like he's updated his profile pic and he's ghosting her.
Yeah, embarrassing.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so she he doesn't show up. So she says, you know what? I'm going to break the law for him. And I'm going to fucking like trespass in this beautiful world where the fireworks won't stop.
They won't stop. Okay? There's a lot of parties.
Imagine being a fucking war veteran and you have to, they're like, you want to get yassified? And you're like, yeah, but I also have fucking PTSD.
Imagine being a dog.
I didn't see one dog in this movie.
Which is why this movie is bad. Do they kill all the dogs? All the dogs are trembling under that bridge because they're afraid of the fireworks.
So she like
sneaks into the party.
Sneaks in. She wears this mask that makes her like
half yassified.
Like, yeah. Like Dollar Tree yassified.
It's giving Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff.
No. Oh my God. And the soundtrack. Let's not even talk about the fucking soundtrack.
Please
don't. This fucking place.
Please don't mention it.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
And she goes and she like breaks into she's like, excuse me. Do you know where the blah, blah, blah mansion is? And the guy's like, right there. It's the tallest building. It literally looks like the World Trade Center. It's the tallest building there. And she's like, I can't see it. We're like, okay, you're taking the squint thing too far, bitch. Like your eyes are fucking open. Okay. And then she's like, oh, okay. Then she goes in and she sees him and she goes, nose. And he's like, excuse me. And she's like, it's me. She takes off the fucking mask and we're like, okay, maybe you are hideous. And then
no, they did her dirty. Whatever CGI they did there, they were like, no, make those features look bad. This poor girl, Joey King.
Joey King?
Joey King.
Why you never ever? I'm over here saying Jody King.
You only said it once.
I've said it like 17 times.
No, yeah.
And so she
Jody King. That's how she wants to be billed. So this movie is not on her IMDb page.
So whatever. The government is like, we have an intruder. Like someone's like, someone's ugly in here. People. She takes off the mask. People start throwing up from how ugly she is.
Yeah.
So the bitch. There's a wall with a bungee jackets.
Of course.
Bungee jackets so she can jump off the fucking building. In what world do you need a bungee jacket?
Like, and they had multiples.
A wall full of bungee jackets.
Wall full. All labeled. It wasn't in like how in a fire extinguisher case where you could be like, okay, in case of emergency break.
Wasn't
and here's, maybe but it was like a wall of them. I'm like, I don't think we all need... Clearly something's wrong if we have a bunch of these.
But they never talked about them. They were just, but she was like, I need to jump off this building, but you can't die because then the book ends. So here are bungee jackets.
Yeah.
And she literally jumps off. So that's the scene that Kate is talking about.
She is literally like, yeah, I mean, that was just so crazy. She is like suspended in midair because she throws on a little vest. Even the hoverboards are giving like... Oh, like they pay homage to some of like Charlie's Angels' most outlandish CGI special effects things.
Even the villain, even Laverne Cox is kind of like giving like Charlie's Angel villain.
100%.
It's a little bit Charlie's Angels villain. Like it's just like you're like, am I supposed to be laughing at this villain or am I supposed to be scared of this villain?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared. I'm arguably maybe on their side.
I'm scared because I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing because I'm scared of this villain.
Correct. And so I just like, I thought it was so funny that I'm like, oh, McG, you have not done another movie like this in 20 years and we just haven't gotten the CGI up to snuff. Like we haven't figured it out. You haven't like done the work we haven't worked on the craft.
Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's like, I like bad CGI. Maybe he's like, I like it cheesy.
Which I guess I can get behind, and I kind of did.
Because that's kind of camp. And you know how you love camp.
I love camp, and I would argue that this
Call you a counselor.
I am literally the counselor. I would argue that this film was camp.
Yeah.
Because it just continued to be bad. Then Yassify Ken snaps her love interest's dad's neck at a certain... Like, this film has too much going on.
Okay, out of everything that happened, right?
Yes.
This was the least believable thing to me.
Tell me.
The guy David is a black man. It's a black young man, and he has black parents.
Yes.
And Tali betrays them.
Yes.
So bad.
Yes.
That they kill the father.
Yeah. In front of everyone, by the way.
And then in the next scene, these black people trust her again. And I go, that is the most unrealistic part about this fucking movie. Ain't no way let me tell you something. As a person of color, as a woman, all right, as a woman who is a POC, okay, as a woman, as a Hispanic, there is no way, okay, that you're gonna get people of color to trust you after you just fucking murdered their dad.
Correct.
Ain't no fucking way. That's white people shit, all right? So that was very disrespectful.
It was insane.
It was not true to their culture.
Yeah.
It was not true to my culture.
Yeah.
The way they trusted her, I go, black people would never trust her after that.
I'd be like,
you got one shot when it comes to people of color for a trust. You blow it,
you're done.
You're fucking done. We'll never trust you again.
Period. It was, wait, I want you to tell me what you thought of the soundtrack. Because it
was Izu the whole time.
Stop it.
It was literally Izu. I'm like, what is this soundtrack? And then it was like, certain, like, when she turns into like the Cinderella, she's like, it's kind of like
you're watching an episode of Love is Blind.
Or like a tampon commercial.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, the soundtrack is unnecessary. That's what I would call it. It is an unnecessary soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's like doof, 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 doof. You want to be hot? Doof, 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 doof. Like, what? And it's like they're like, da-na-na-na-na. I'm like, what the fuck?
Are you singing Sandstorm?
Yeah.
Fears. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy. I do love the ending of this film, where basically, because Tally betrays the people who live at the smoke, they all get kidnapped and rounded up, and Shay, her lesbian friend, who
I don't even think they're lesbians.
No, they're not. But like her hot Asian friend, who was like, I don't want to turn pretty. It's like, girl, you don't need to. Like, you don't need to.
She's like, I don't want to be pretty. And we're like, because you are.
Yeah, because you are.
That's something a pretty person would say.
Yeah. Pretty,
I don't want to be.
Talk about pretty privilege, honey.
Yeah, I don't want to be pretty because you are, bitch. Look at your cheekbones. Look at your eyebrows.
Look at your eyebrows. Look at your whole, like,
I will say she slayed when she turned character. Oh, when she gets yassified.
Yeah, so, okay, so they yassify her. So because they round everyone up, they yassify her. Yeah. Against her will. First. But you were going to say.
Her acting slays.
Yeah, she killed.
The way she goes from like regular Shay to yassified Shay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. You got the assignment, bitch. You worked it.
When she comes out in her little like slinky silver number and her like beat, and she's like, I don't want to go back.
She looks like a fucking cat. Yeah. Like an evil cat.
Yeah. That I was like, oh, she's chomping.
Yeah, she ate there.
She ate. Yeah. She ate. And then the film ends with Joey King. So basically, David, his mom was a scientist with Laverne Cox and has an antidote, or like thinks she can make an antidote to this like pretty surgery. I'm like, okay, whatever. But so Shay, they're like, let's do it to Shay. Let's bring her back. And she's like, no, I don't want to, which is hilarious. Yeah. And so then Tally's like, I volunteer. She literally has her I volunteer as tribute moment. It's like, oh my God, no one cares. No one cares. But at the end, you literally see her walk in as like a yassified Tally. Yeah. But she does not give as yassified as I want her to. But I guess the point is she's not.
I think the issue was and is that they don't really yassify her. They just change her whole face. Whereas everyone else gets yassified. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like she completely changes. Yeah. And it's almost like they don't like elevate the pretty parts of her. They just change her face completely. They go, oh, we can't fix this.
They're almost like she's so ugly.
We have to build this from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
So it didn't give, because like Shay gave, because Shay like the whole time she has like short hair, then they give her this like long
wigged. She was wigged.
Yeah, and so like she eats, and then she goes from like dressing like you know,
tomboyish, I would say.
Yeah, and then she is in a nice like little slutty dress.
Hoochie dress. Yeah.
So like she gets yassified, whereas this girl, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it gives.
What are the streets saying?
What are the streets saying? Huh. So my favorite. So I saw a couple funny things. One of my favorite things was I saw. So when Nose gets yassified, so he goes from being brunette into having like nasty, borderline frosted tips, blonde hair.
He's ugly.
Looks nasty. Looks ugly, and people online were saying that he looks like Glenn Close in the Deliverance. Crazy. And I thought that was crazy. So accurate. People were actually comparing it. So many people on Twitter, that actually made me laugh because it was so accurate. When you see the side-by-side comparison, you're like, they are the same. Why didn't Glenn Close play this role? She would have eaten at least.
Right.
And so many people were like, oh, this film is actually so horrible. It surpassed my expectations for how horrible it could be. And my favorite thing that I saw was on Rotten Tomatoes. And Rotten Tomatoes, the general consensus from the critics was, the quote was like, it's about what's on the inside that counts. But unfortunately for Uglies, they don't have much of that either.
God damn.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I was like, you're not wrong.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would have to shoot the 5 with everybody from Rotten Tomatoes.
Every single critic.
Everybody.
Users.
Yeah.
Critics alike.
Yeah.
Fair.
Shoot the 5.
Yeah, you got it.
Everyone.
You like line up all the reviews. Anything under 4 stars, you're like, no.
Nah, that comment was crazy though.
That comment is crazy.
But were they wrong? But were they wrong?
No.
Not really.
Not really. But it was really funny. It was a funny movie to watch.
It's funny. It's a random funny movie if you want to watch. If you want to watch something random and funny, and I don't know if we said this, but if you want to watch something random and funny,
if you
want to watch something that's funny and random, if you're thinking about getting Botox, this should be like a, you know how like sometimes when you get certain stuff, you have to watch like a pre-video for it. This should be like a pre-video.
Yes.
For Botox.
Yes, I agree. If you don't want to watch Botched, you want to switch it up from Botched.
It just bothered me that the people who were supposed to be pretty weren't that pretty. That really, really was.
And that the Uglies were hot.
Yeah.
I take issue. I take umbrage with that. Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to yassify yourself.
A BBL.
BBL, fair.
Maybe green eyes.
Green eyes.
Maybe I'll take green eyes.
Ooh. Okay.
Maybe that's the one thing.
Maybe that's the one thing?
Yeah, how about you? Everything? Start from scratch?
Start from scratch, please. Thicker eyebrows.
Okay.
And maybe longer hair.
But here's the situation. If you want thicker eyebrows, you have to be specific. You have to get thick eyebrows that are shaped.
Oh.
Nothing.
Mama.
Because you don't want a unibrow over there.
I shan't have one. No, but I have no.
And longer hair?
And longer hair.
Like to where?
Probably my hair is down to my, like a little bit past my shoulders now. I probably want it down mid back.
Does it grow?
No, it won't grow longer than this, really.
Really?
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, this is
that thought to me is like,
you will cut 6 inches off your hair and it will grow back the next day.
Shut the fuck up.
It literally will grow back the next day. I'm like,
Shut up.
I'm like, she didn't even get a haircut. Meanwhile, it's like if I ask the hairdresser to take like a 1/4 inch off, it's like, oh, you look like Little Orphan Annie when you walk out of that salon. You look like Little Orphan Annie.
Here's the situation. It's so sometimes I have the long hair privilege, so I don't realize that it takes people, some people cannot grow long hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, just grow it.
And your hair is
just grow
wavy
it.
Curly too. It's not because I think part of why my hair doesn't grow as fast is because it's so curly. It grows out compared to down, which is annoying.
Oh, okay.
It grows in volume, but it springs up basically.
Right.
But you have wavy curls too.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
It is.
Pretty.
It is. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's not. I hate my hair.
It
is. It's nice. It is nice. It would just be hard, when they're like, well, you're turning 16. What do you want to do? And I go, I don't. They go, I don't think we could change anything about you, Ashlynn. You're just so beautiful and perfect. And I go, I know. This is my cross to bear.
It's really hard for you, isn't it?
And
it's so hard.
And I say, if you guys want, you can just make me a little bit uglier so I can fit in with the pretties.
Please.
The silence hurts.
Please. Okay, wait. Before we go, we could do a fuck, marry, kill of 3, because we've seen now, I think, 3 movies, like current releases.
Okay.
We saw Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Deadpool versus Wolverine. And then Uglies.
Dude, kill the Uglies.
You gotta kill the Uglies.
Kill the Uglies.
Okay. Who are you fucking?
It depends who I want to marry. We said Deadpool.
Deadpool versus Wolverine and Beetlejuice.
That's so hard.
I know. They kind of are like the same.
Yeah, I guess I'll fuck Deadpool versus Wolverine and then marry Beetlejuice.
I think I would go the same way.
No, you only did that after I answered it. I should have let you go first. You probably would have married Uglies.
Not marrying the Uglies.
Fortunately for you, that's not your real life.
Life is not imitating art, or maybe it is.
Okay, well, that's been our show. Thank you so much for coming to the studio today. We appreciate you guys. If you look under your seat, you will find absolutely nothing.
You'll actually find filler. But you have to inject it yourself. And a little tape.
If you look under your seat, you will find... Goodbye. Oh, next week we are doing Real Housewives Salt Lake City. Bye.
Wait,
bye.
It's our favorite show.
No, bye. No.
The season 5 premiere. Oh my God, I love that.
No, bye.
I love that.
No, bye.
Don't talk about my family. You can leave.